get into the concept of women's decision making and what is a good society, a functional society, how does that operate? How does a functional society, feel good in a sustainable way where it's like from one generation to the next, things are stable, things work. And maybe we'll encounter other problems like natural disasters or challenges with, food problems, but at least as a collective, as society, we should be able to get along and make things work. So the question to you is, are you up for that? Some people are not. Some people don't operate on collective consciousness or unity thinking. What they do is they do whatever they can to be comfortable and pursue hedonistic gratification from everything from having lots of fun to partying all the time to going on vacations to even stuff like marriage and fun time. As good as marriage is, all of it, guys, all of it is still an issue because all of it, from an ultimate level, is actually not being conscious of the people suffering, specifically our brothers and sisters of humanity who are having a hard time in difficult third world conditions. And so I'm speaking on behalf of them. That's why I'm not afraid of being embarrassed. I'm not afraid of people making fun of me, because it's about who I can say at the end of the day. I can say to these people, I can say to the decrepit person in a retirement home that I'm there for you, and you don't have to worry. You can let your body go. You can ask to be your body to be humanely terminated, because it's not you, and you can go into another body, reincarnation. And it's not about belief, it's about reality. Is reincarnation real? Yeah, we have evidence of it. First of all, where the hell do people keep coming from? If they keep coming from somewhere, then that means there's an unlimited supply of people. And if it's unlimited supply of people, then to me the math is that an unlimited supply of okay, so if there's an unlimited amount of people coming into the world, then that must mean that we're part of that unlimited, because otherwise there would have to be like another world or something to contain, where we went in an afterlife, because because the afterlife couldn't contain that many people, because it's an unlimited amount that are coming into the world. So it has to be that same amount that continues to cycle in, if that logic makes any sense. But more clear signs of incarnation are out-of-body experiences. You can go on a sacred trip, mushroom trip, and you can see yourself. You can see your body. What else? There's what else do we have? We have past life regression therapy and hypnosis, which helps people to show that there were things in previous lives. And you hear kids speaking about specific things that they couldn't have known. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Well, I'm feeling good. Hopefully, you guys are feeling good, and we're having a fun. Let's get back into this. So, bad boys, right? So, when you think bad boy, you think maybe pretty boy or jock. Attractive guy. Good genetics, but he's using it to be a player or promiscuous, which is unloving. Don't be fooled by these terms. And part of the problem is men thinking that that's a good thing. Men thinking that that's quote unquote success with women, when it's really not. Because success with women is having a virgin wife and creating a society where your daughters and your sons can also have virgin spouses. And so there's no social tension and no confusion and no breakups and no people affecting the quality of life of your grandkids. No, you have raised you. Let's say you're have great genetics, attractive guy, and you have 10 children with 5 different women, but then all those children's lives is going to be suffer because they don't have that ratio of father to wives where the father can take care of all the wives. And this idea that it's masculine to have more than one woman, no, it's if you're very masculine then in testosterone, then you should find one woman attractive enough to want to be with her. Like all these guys it's like they're saying that no woman is attractive enough. Well, you know what? Therein lies the lie. Because I guarantee you, if these guys found a woman that they were attracted to that much, then they would want her to marry her, or they would want to lock her down, as the current vernacular speaks. But they don't want to do that. And so the reason is because they are not in the frequency of love. Because you don't try to seduce women and have power over them and use them to get an orgasm. You don't do that unless you haven't managed your own orgasms, number one, and number two, because you're just not because you're just not in the flow of love and wanting to have love in your life. So that's a start. But then you have this bad boy and you have these choices women make. What are other choices that women make, right? So they do things like breast implants. Terrible idea. If a guy is not attracted to you, then you shouldn't want a guy who's attracted to plastic. And if he's not attracted to your vulva first and foremost, that's why I always tell men, when you think of a woman or a potential mate, the first thing you should think of is whether you want to give her oral sex. Because you can easily get orgasm on your own, and especially with the pocket stroker toys these days, it's very similar to real sex or real vagina. So, so where do we go with that, guys? Where do we go with that all? Well, let's take another look. So bad boys may, part of the problem is it's like, those are like tough guys who can defend the woman. And so because the woman's father has put them in this is more of a high school thing, this tough guy, what do you call it? bad boys. It's like the woman, we get drawn to them because the problem with high school is it's a non it doesn't replicate to reality. Everyone's food is paid for by their parents and their shelter and stuff, so it's not, it doesn't mimic real life. and and so, but what ends up, women just find a guy who, and that's the same thing in society when the government says, "Oh, we'll pay for your abortions, so you don't have to worry about getting impregnated by the wrong guy," or we'll give you, or we'll pay for your child's what do you call it? We'll force the guy to give you child support, or what else do you have? You have the government giving devices. It should only be under special circumstances, like they were married. Like, and here's, maybe it should be illegal for people to have children out of wedlock. But then the problem is people are going to say that, people are going to say that, oh, well, the government's trying to get money out of people by forcing them to be married because it makes them, I don't know what it does. Maybe it makes them under a different tax bracket or what have you. But the problem with marriage, too, is that when people can legally get married, what some guys do is, because we live in a wealthy country, America, what the guys do is they go to a third world country and just find a poor woman who's going to be like want them for their money. And so, but that money is supposed to be represented and representative of us. So it's not supposed to be used for distributing out to trick, poor women into, it's different if the guy's of the same age as the woman in a foreign country, then she can come to America and they can build a life together and have kids. But when it's this, woman marrying a guy half their age, then what it ends up happening is what ends up happening. What ends up happening is, well, you get the idea. So the point to emphasize here, guys, is that women choose a man to make them feel safe and secure, and they also like bad boys. This is important because the bad boys are, they're alpha males. They're not only are they, have good genetics, but they're working well with it. Like, they're athletic and they're strong, and they're independent. And so women like a guy who has options. And it's paradox, because it's like, even if the bad boy really wants to marry a woman, she might respect him less because he wants to commit to her. So in that way, women are fucked up. And that's why society does better when it's got people protecting the woman and the men. And so what you end up having is you have reprobate women who either sell their body or use their body to gain favors from men, and they're not marrying the men because the father likes the potential grooms or the husbands like his values. No, it's because the woman just needs, wants that security, and the man just wants sex. So that's a indication of a deteriorating society. Now, all this learning, this awareness of all this is what's gonna, get us through and make everything work. So, and another thing is, woman may like a bad boy, quote unquote, because he is in some way more able to, he's stronger, has more virility, may have a bigger PPS, and so he's able to stimulate her more sexually. But that shouldn't be the main reason for people to commit. In fact, I would argue that this whole thing with guys wanting to be the ones to get the blowjobs and the compliments to their genitals, it should be the other way around. It's almost gay or effeminate for the guys to be like that. Instead, it should be where the guys want to get, they want to give the woman a blowjob and they want to compliment her vulva. Okay? So these guys who are hoping that the woman will be attracted to them, it doesn't make any sense, because that's the woman's role. All right. So I'm thinking about signing out. I gotta figure out some logistics here on the road and to my next job. Alright, yeah, we got it. Good. Alright. So let's go ahead and. But thank you for considering all ideas, ideas loaded on. And hey, guess what? More to come. But at least now we're thinking about it. We're thinking about why society goes the way it goes. Because of fathers not taking care of their daughters and not helping them to find a husband, they turn women into reprobate, which means the woman doesn't want to listen to a man anymore. She doesn't want to follow a man because she couldn't trust any men, so she had to go out on her own. And birth control only helps to promote this, because birth control shuts women's estrogen down and makes them more masculine. And actually makes them attracted to effeminate men.
In 1,000 feet, turn right onto Wailea Avenue.
And then it's bad that all the men are around with women too. All right, I better run, guys, but let's talk. All right, aloha.